Cardi B says she once received illegal injections to her backside from a woman whose patient later died.
Toby Sheldon, the man who famously underwent cosmetic surgery to look like Justin Bieber.
I want to look like a cartoon or anime face.
Who doesn't have black eyes? They're sick.
What drives someone to spend millions of dollars to look like a wildcat or to undergo 200 surgeries to resemble a living doll? From breast implants taken on a dare to ribs removed for a 16-inch waist, the world is full of people who have pushed plastic surgery to the extreme. In this list, we uncover 20 shocking transformations, including a man who got breasts for $100,000 and a woman who injected cooking oil into her face. Brace yourself for some of the most outrageous and unbelievable body modifications you'll ever hear about. Join us. Number 20, Jocelyn Wildenstein. What could drive someone to spend millions on surgeries to look like a wildcat? Jocelyn Wildenstein's transformation is one of the most infamous and extreme examples of plastic surgery gone awry. Known as Catwoman due to her surgically altered feline features, she spent an estimated $5 million trying to achieve a look that would shock the world. One of her earliest and most significant procedures was canthopexy, a surgery to lift and tighten the eyes, designed to give her the exotic look of a wildcat. As she reportedly wanted to appeal to her husband's love for big cats, she continued to undergo brow lifts, facelifts, lip injections, and cheek implants, gradually pushing the boundaries of human features. What started as a cosmetic enhancement became a near unrecognizable transformation. Shockingly, despite the drastic changes, Jocelyn has always denied any addiction to surgery, claiming her cat-like eyes were inherited and that her Swiss ancestry gave her high cheekbones. Her fierce denial adds to the mystery surrounding her, as she remains defiant even in the face of overwhelming evidence that her addiction had catastrophic consequences, not just for her appearance, but for her finances too. After her headline-making divorce in the late 90s, Wildenstein filed for bankruptcy, losing her billion-dollar fortune and 3 luxurious apartments in Trump Tower. Number 19. Anthony Lofredo. How far would you go to change your appearance? For Anthony Lofredo, turning into an alien meant tattooing his entire body black and removing parts of his face. Lofredo's transformation into what he calls the Black Alien is one of the most shocking body modification journeys ever undertaken. Over the years, he has undergone an array of drastic surgeries, including the removal of his nose, ears, upper lip, and even 2 of his fingers. His tongue has a slit like a snake's, and his entire body, including his eyeballs, has been tattooed black. Lofredo, who says he was happy but not in the right body, was driven by a vision of becoming an alien-like being. He also added subdermal implants to his face and carved lightning bolt patterns into his skin. These procedures, often illegal in his home country of France, forced him to travel abroad to find specialists willing to perform the surgeries. His pursuit of physical alienation has not been without consequences. He's faced daily discrimination, such as being turned away from restaurants, denied jobs, and even ignored by Uber drivers who are startled by his appearance. Despite the irreversible nature of his modifications, Lofredo insists that this project, known as the Black Alien Project, has made him feel more connected to his true self. At one point, he announced that he was 75% complete with the transformation and hinted at even more extreme steps, including potentially amputating a leg. However, in 2023, he shocked his followers by stating that the project had lost its meaning, though he left the door open for future modifications. Number 18. Allegra Cole. Allegra Cole's journey from piano teacher to social media sensation is as shocking as it is extreme. What started as a desire to enhance her figure quickly turned into an obsession with breast augmentation that has left many people in awe and some concerned. Allegra underwent her first surgery at the age of 33, becoming a 34DD with 800cc implants. However, she wasn't satisfied. A second surgery saw her increase to 2000cc, funded by her own savings over 10 years. But that was just the beginning. With the help of a crowdfunding platform where people financially supported her surgeries, Allegra pushed her body even further, increasing her breast size until they weighed over 20 pounds in total. The consequences of this extreme modification were inevitable. Her chest became asymmetrical, causing discomfort, and forcing her to seek corrective surgery on the TV show Botched. Despite the physical strain of carrying such an immense weight, Allegra embraces her look. She maintains her physique through regular strength training to support her back and core, which helps her manage the added burden. Though her pursuit of an exaggerated body has come with challenges, Allegra remains defiant, proudly championing her decisions and even helping other women fund their own cosmetic transformations. Number 17, Farah Abraham. Farah Abraham has gone under the knife more times than most people change their hairstyle, but one procedure almost cost her more than just her looks. One of the most alarming incidents occurred in 2015 when she suffered an allergic reaction to lip implants. As soon as the numbing agent was applied, Farah's lips began to swell uncontrollably. She later described seeing her lip come up and admitted that the experience left her terrified. The situation became so severe that she feared for her life, but thankfully the reaction was managed in time. Farah's issues didn't end there. She has had 3 breast augmentations, of which the third was meant to correct the excruciating pain and scar tissue complications she was experiencing after the second breast augmentation, a botched procedure. She publicly shared how the discomfort from the scar tissue had become unbearable, necessitating further surgery to fix both the pain and the aesthetic issues. The teen mom star's transformation began in 2010 when she was just 19, with a breast augmentation that took her from an A cup to a C cup. But that was only the beginning. Over the years, Farah has undergone multiple procedures, including a rhinoplasty, a chin implant which she later had removed, butt injections, and several rounds of lip fillers. She says her surgeries made her feel more confident. But at what point do cosmetic procedures cross the line? How far would you go in the pursuit of perfection? Number 16. Donatella Versace. When the queen of fashion herself undergoes a transformation, the world takes notice. Donatella Versace's face has become as famous as the brand she commands. The world first noticed her altered appearance in the early 2000s, shortly after she took the reins of the Versace brand, following her brother Gianni's tragic passing in 1997. Among the many procedures she's undergone, rhinoplasty to refine her nose was one of the first. She's also had multiple facelifts, lip fillers, and Botox injections. Her lips in particular became a signature feature, though their size has often been called excessive, with critics saying it disturbed the natural balance of her face. Notably, her skin has grown thinner over time, possibly from repeated laser resurfacing treatments, which, when combined with weight loss, gave her a more pronounced and dramatic look. Despite the speculation and media attention, Donatella has remained unapologetic about her choices. She admitted to using Botox but has rarely commented on the full extent of her surgeries. As she famously said, "If you don't look like $1 million, you'll never earn 2." Whether you admire her boldness or question her choices, Donatella's transformation is impossible to ignore. Number 15. Ethan Bramble. Imagine having your belly button removed just to make room for more tattoos. Ethan Bramble, often referred to as Australia's most modified youth, has made headlines for his extreme body modifications, turning himself into a walking canvas of art and alteration. By the age of 22, Ethan had undergone more than 40 body modification procedures, including some that pushed the boundaries of conventional cosmetic surgery, from splitting his tongue to tattooing his eyeballs black, removing his belly button, and stretching his earlobes. Ethan's appearance is nothing short of shocking. His fascination with body modification began at a young age. He had his ears stretched at just 11, and this passion only grew as he ventured into more radical changes. However, this path hasn't been without consequences. His tongue operation, which he described as the most painful experience, nearly led to dehydration because he struggled to eat and drink afterwards. Additionally, his heavily tattooed appearance has resulted in people crossing the street to avoid him, judging him based solely on his extreme looks. Despite the challenges, Ethan stands by his decisions, often defending his modifications as a form of self-expression. Now, as a father, Ethan has started to reconsider some of his earlier decisions. He has begun undergoing laser surgery to remove his face tattoos, citing his daughter as a motivation to create a new chapter in his life. This personal transformation shows how even the most extreme body modifications can evolve as the person behind them continues to grow and change. Number 14. Mauricio GDI. When doctors on Botched tell you to stop, you know you've gone far. But for Mauricio GDI, the quest to look like Ken was worth every surgery. Often referred to as the Brazilian Ken doll, GDI has undergone a series of extreme plastic surgeries in his pursuit of achieving a doll-like appearance. His transformation began at the age of 17 when he had his first surgery, and since then, he has continued to modify his body through numerous procedures. Some of the surgeries he's had include 5 rhinoplasties, pectoral implants, silicone bicep implants, and the removal of cheek fat. To achieve his signature Ken doll look, he even went as far as having his eye color permanently changed to ice gray using a procedure called bright ocular. One of his most notable appearances was on the show Botched, where even the seasoned plastic surgeons warned him not to undergo any more procedures, considering him already perfect for his goal. Despite the warnings, Mauricio has remained unapologetic about his surgeries, viewing them as a form of self-expression and an essential part of his identity as a model and actor. Mauricio's transformation has not come without complications. The extensive surgeries have reshaped his body and face, leading to both praise and criticism. While some admire his dedication, others argue that he's gone too far, pushing the limits of what the human body should endure. Nevertheless, he continues to thrive in the world of entertainment, using his look to carve out a unique space in the modeling industry. Number 13. Priscilla Presley. How did a once celebrated beauty end up with irreversible facial damage? Priscilla Presley's plastic surgery journey reveals the dark side of cosmetic enhancements. In 2003, she was the victim of a notorious scam by Argentinian doctor Daniel Serrano, who injected her face with industrial-grade silicone, the same type used to grease car parts. This unapproved and unsafe procedure left her with permanent facial damage, including lumps and craters. Serrano, who was not licensed to practice in the US, was eventually arrested and sentenced to prison for his illegal activities. But the damage to Priscilla's appearance was irreversible. Priscilla, once celebrated for her natural beauty, reportedly became even more focused on cosmetic surgery after a skin cancer scare. Following the removal of cancerous tissue, she became fixated on any resulting scars, leading her to seek out additional procedures in an effort to preserve her youthful look. Over time, however, her use of Botox, fillers, and facelifts has been criticized for giving her an overly stiff and unnatural appearance. Despite these complications, Priscilla remains a public figure, known not only for her relationship with Elvis, but also for her successful work in preserving his legacy. Her story serves as a cautionary tale about the risks of plastic surgery, especially when performed by unqualified individuals. Number 12. Cardi B. Would you risk your life for a bigger butt? Cardi B did, getting illegal silicone injections that left her in excruciating pain, and now she's sharing her story. Starting at 18, Cardi used her earnings from dancing in strip clubs to get her first breast augmentation, addressing deep insecurities about her body. She's been open about how growing up in the Bronx, where a curvy figure was highly valued, influenced her decision to pursue body modifications. As her fame grew, so did her willingness to enhance her appearance through surgeries. One of her most controversial procedures was receiving illegal butt injections. Cardi has spoken about paying $800 for silicone injections in a basement, a procedure that was both painful and dangerous. She later admitted that a customer of the same unlicensed provider tragically died during the procedure. In 2022, Cardi revealed that she had most of those injections removed, warning her followers about the risks of such surgeries. Beyond buttock enhancements, Cardi has also undergone rhinoplasty, facial fillers, and additional breast augmentations. Despite the risks and complications, she says the surgeries have made her feel more confident and empowered. However, she has become an advocate for careful research, urging fans to think critically and consult professionals before opting for similar procedures. Number 11. Cindy Jackson. Cindy Jackson holds the world record for the most plastic surgeries with a staggering 52 procedures under her belt. But her journey didn't begin with the intention of setting records. Growing up in Ohio, Cindy felt out of place in her own body, with early insecurities about her nose and chin driving her desire for change. After inheriting money from her father, she decided to invest in her appearance, undergoing her first surgeries in her early 30s. Over the years, Cindy has had everything from facelifts, nose jobs, and liposuction to cheek implants and even injections in her hands to smooth out veins. Her $100,000 worth of procedures includes 14 full-scale operations, and she often combined multiple surgeries to minimize recovery time. Despite the sheer number of procedures, Cindy insists her goal has always been to look natural, not extreme. She's known for saying she didn't want people to stare at her and know she had surgery. She simply wanted to look like a better version of herself. While many associate her with the desire to look like a real-life Barbie, Cindy views her transformation as an art form, using surgery to enhance her aesthetic appeal in a way that feels true to her. Now in her 60s, she remains a cosmetic surgery consultant and an advocate for anti-aging techniques. Number 10. Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag's transformation in 2009 is one of the most infamous examples of extreme plastic surgery. At just 23 years old, she underwent 10 cosmetic procedures in a single day, forever changing her appearance. This dramatic marathon of surgeries included a brow lift, chin reduction, breast augmentation, liposuction, rhinoplasty, and fat injections. Heidi admitted she was chasing perfection, hoping to feel more confident and look perfect when she looked in the mirror. However, the aftermath of these surgeries was far from what she expected. Montag faced an excruciatingly long recovery, which took over a year instead of the promised few months. She was left unable to speak properly for some time, dealing with severe pain, particularly from having part of her chin removed. Compounding this was a near-death experience during the procedures. Her heart briefly stopped due to an excess of the painkiller Demerol. Years later, Heidi has expressed regret over her decisions, stating that she was too young to fully grasp the long-term consequences. She eventually had her F-cup breast implants removed after realizing they were too heavy for her body and caused discomfort. Now, as a mother and more reflective on her experiences, she encourages others to think twice before opting for plastic surgery. Number 9. Sahar Tabar. Sahar Tabar, known as the zombie Angelina Jolie, became an internet sensation for her haunting, corpse-like appearance. Her exaggerated features, sunken cheeks, oversized lips, and skeletal nose were said to be the result of up to 50 cosmetic surgeries. However, the reality was far different than what her Instagram followers believed. In a later interview, Sahar, whose real name is Fateme Kishvand, revealed that much of her viral look was achieved through makeup, Photoshop, and just a few cosmetic procedures, including a nose job, lip fillers, and liposuction. Her desire for fame led her to craft a macabre, zombie-like version of Angelina Jolie. But what began as a quirky online persona turned into a real-life nightmare. In 2019, Sahar was arrested in Iran on charges of blasphemy and encouraging corruption among the youth. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison, though her release came after just 14 months following public outrage. Despite her claims that her extreme appearance was mostly an illusion, Sahar's story is a cautionary tale about the lengths people will go to achieve online fame and the consequences that can follow. Since her release from prison, Sahar has expressed regret for her actions, stating that she has no plans to return to social media. Number 8. Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell's journey with plastic surgery has been a roller coaster, leading him to openly admit, "I went a bit too far." Best known for his sharp critiques on shows like American Idol and X Factor, Cowell's transformation has drawn just as much attention as his TV appearances. Over the years, he became obsessed with maintaining a youthful look, starting with Botox injections as early as 2008. He later added fillers and even underwent a facelift in his pursuit of perfection. But Cowell's enthusiasm for cosmetic procedures soon reached a breaking point. He has admitted that the excessive use of Botox and fillers left him looking unrecognizable, even to himself. His son Eric once laughed hysterically at his appearance, which became a wake-up call. "I saw a picture of myself and didn't even recognize it was me," Cowell confessed. He described his post-surgery face as something out of a horror film. and ultimately decided to stop using fillers altogether. Cowell's story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overindulging in cosmetic procedures. Now, instead of relying on injectables, he focuses on a healthier lifestyle, crediting a balanced diet and plenty of water for maintaining his looks. Number 7. Amanda Lepore. Amanda Lepore is often referred to as having the most expensive body on earth, a claim that reflects her lifelong dedication to transforming her appearance. Over the years, she has undergone a remarkable number of cosmetic procedures, including multiple breast augmentations, rhinoplasty, cheekbone implants, lip fillers, and even rib reshaping to achieve her exaggerated hourglass figure. Her goal? To create a look reminiscent of a living doll. Amanda herself has said, "I'm inflated in the right places," embracing her transformation with unapologetic confidence. Her journey into plastic surgery began as a teenager, when she had her first rhinoplasty at 15. Later, at 19, she underwent gender confirmation surgery, marking the start of her now iconic transformation. Lepore didn't stop there. She's famously had her forehead lowered, her hairline adjusted, and even underwent surgery to make her eyes more doll-like. Though some procedures have been controversial, such as her rib removal surgery to achieve a smaller waist, Amanda remains a fixture in the fashion and nightlife scenes. Collaborating with renowned photographers like David LaChapelle and designers like Thierry Mugler, she's turned her body into a work of art, using her appearance to push the boundaries of beauty standards and self-expression. Do you think society's obsession with beauty has gone too far? Share your thoughts. Number 6. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's physical transformation is one of the most talked about in the history of entertainment. The King of Pop's journey with plastic surgery began in the 80s when he had his first rhinoplasty after breaking his nose during a dance rehearsal. This initial procedure, intended to help him breathe better and hit higher notes, was the first step in a long series of changes to his face. Over the next 2 decades, Jackson reportedly underwent numerous surgeries, including multiple rhinoplasties, cheek implants, and even a cleft added to his chin. His nose, in particular, became a defining feature of his altered appearance, so small and narrow that by the 90s it was nearly unrecognizable from his original look. Some experts estimate that Jackson may have had over 50 procedures, despite his claim of only 2 nose jobs. Complicating his facial transformation was Jackson's struggle with vitiligo, a skin condition that causes patches of depigmentation. To address this, he reportedly used skin lightening treatments to even out his skin tone, which resulted in his dramatically paler complexion. Jackson also wore heavy makeup and clothing to conceal his condition, sparking endless speculation about whether he had intentionally altered his skin color. Despite the toll these procedures took on his face, Jackson continued to pursue cosmetic changes until the end of his life. Number 5. Toby Sheldon. Toby Sheldon's obsession with looking like pop star Justin Bieber took him down a path of extreme plastic surgery. Over several years, Sheldon, a songwriter by trade, spent more than $100,000 on various cosmetic procedures, all aimed at mimicking Bieber's youthful features. His transformation included multiple hair transplants, eyelid surgery, lip fillers, Botox, a chin reduction, and even smile surgery, which permanently altered his lips to give him a more youthful appearance, similar to Bieber's trademark look. Sheldon's journey into extreme plastic surgery began in his early 20s when he started losing his hair, but it wasn't until Justin Bieber rose to fame that Sheldon found his idol. He became fixated on recreating Bieber's boyish charm, undergoing a series of invasive surgeries to mirror the singer's facial structure and hairline. Despite warnings from surgeons on shows like Botched, Sheldon continued seeking procedures to further refine his face. Tragically, Toby's story ended in 2015 when he was found to have passed away in a motel in Los Angeles as a result of substance abuse. While Sheldon achieved a form of his desired look, his extreme pursuit of perfection and his sudden death serve as a haunting reminder of the dangers of obsessive body modification. Number 4. Pixie Fox. How far would you go to look like a cartoon character? For Pixie Fox, the answer was 6 ribs removed and more than 200 plastic surgeries. Inspired by cartoon characters like Jessica Rabbit and Tinkerbell, Pixie has undergone some of the most extreme body modifications on record. Her most infamous surgery was the removal of 6 ribs to achieve a shockingly small waist of 16 inches, a transformation that helped her inch closer to her goal of resembling a living doll. Beyond her rib removal, Pixie has had multiple nose jobs, 4 breast augmentations, eye color change surgery, liposuction, and facial reconstruction surgeries. She even had her jaw intentionally broken and reshaped to create a more superhero-like jawline. Her surgeries, including elf-like ear modifications and permanent makeup, have pushed the boundaries of what's possible in cosmetic surgery, leading some doctors, including those on Botched, to refuse to operate on her anymore. Despite the risks and controversy surrounding her choices, Pixie has remained undeterred. She views her transformation as a form of artistic expression, proudly declaring that she never felt fully human, but more like a fantasy creature. Though many find her surgeries extreme, Pixie insists she's simply following her dreams and encourages others to do the same, regardless of society's opinions. Number 3. Brian Zemek. Brian Zemek's story of extreme plastic surgery is one of the most bizarre in gambling history. In 1996, Zemek, a professional gambler known for accepting outrageous bets, was challenged by a friend to get breast implants and keep them for a year for a whopping $100,000. What started as a joke quickly became serious when Zemek lost a significant amount of money in the stock market. Desperate to make it back, he followed through on the bet. Zemek's journey didn't stop at agreeing to the procedure. Using his connections, he found a surgeon who also enjoyed high-stakes gambling and negotiated the $4,500 surgery fee by winning a backgammon game. The operation, which gave him 38C breast implants, was completed in October 1996. Initially, the implants were meant to stay for just 1 year, but Zemek grew so accustomed to them that he kept them long after the bet was fulfilled, even earning additional money from media appearances on shows like The Man Show. Despite the fame and infamy that the bet brought him, Zemek doesn't regret his decision. He has said the implants became a normal part of his life. His story serves as a shocking example of how far some will go for a bet, solidifying his reputation as a gambler who will do anything to win. Number 2. Hang Mioku. Hang Mioku was once a beautiful model, but a devastating addiction to plastic surgery changed her life forever. This South Korean woman became obsessed with enhancing her appearance, undergoing her first cosmetic procedure at the age of 28. Over the years, Mioku had multiple surgeries, primarily on her face, as she became fixated on achieving smoother, softer skin. Her obsession led her to move to Japan for more procedures, but as her face became increasingly swollen and disfigured, doctors eventually refused to perform any more surgeries. Desperate to continue altering her appearance, Hang Mioku took matters into her own hands. When she could no longer obtain silicone injections, she resorted to injecting her face with cooking oil. This disastrous decision left her permanently disfigured and almost unrecognizable, even to her own parents. Her story went viral in South Korea, and the public responded by donating money to help her undergo corrective surgeries. Despite multiple operations to remove the foreign substances from her face and neck, the damage was irreversible. Today, Hang Mioku works at a recycled clothing shop and lives with the scars, both physical and emotional, of her addiction. Her journey serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of plastic surgery addiction and the devastating consequences of taking it too far. Number 1. Christina Bhell. While most people think of caricatures as fun souvenirs, Christina Bhell used hers as a blueprint to begin her plastic surgery transformation. When she was 15, Bhell was vacationing in Ibiza when she received a caricature drawing, one that she immediately thought was her ideal version. "I adored how done up she looked," she said of the cartoon image. "I wanted to look like that." Since then, Christina has spent over $250,000 on cosmetic procedures to mimic the exaggerated features of the caricature. Her surgeries include 5 breast augmentations, lip injections, Botox, semi-permanent makeup, and even heart-shaped tattoos. She has also had a gastric band procedure to lose weight and achieve the tiny waist depicted in the drawing. Christina's current breast size is a whopping 36K, and she continues to pursue more surgeries. always looking for the next enhancement. Despite the extreme nature of her transformation, Christina remains unapologetic about her choices. She views the caricature as a guide, showing her what she could become if she pushes her body to the limit. Though her look garners mixed reactions, she embraces her individuality and says she'll never stop pursuing more surgeries as she ages. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the next video for more exciting content.